Welcome to TimForrest.com. Hey, it's been an exciting week with food photography this week, and we've been shooting with multiple photographers, multiple sets, and it's been very exciting. One of the things I just wanted to share with you very quickly are just some points about food photography and how impactful it can be for your food business. Also, the fact of some of the reasons why we do food photography and why, instead of thinking about how expensive food photography can be, so it can be very expensive at the time, how valuable it is and why it provides so much value to food companies. And then I'm going to walk you through some of the parts of shooting food photography and just some pointers on working with food photographers and going through that process and the actual day of the shoot, some ideas and tips on that. The first thing I want to share is how important food photography is for a food business. Food businesses, a tremendous amount of part of marketing and growth of that business is through demos and sharing samples of your product. One of the beautiful things about good or even great food photography is that it's a way to sample product with the eye. So we can sample unlimited amounts of people. We can sample thousands, if not millions, of consumers and shoppers with food photography without having to prepare the product. So one photograph can be shared on the internet, on packaging, on menus, on Instagram, unlimited amount of locations. Consumers and shoppers can see that, and then that can impact your business as compared to sharing it. And so that's the number one thing that so many folks, when we talk about expense, is how valuable it is. So how important it is. So how do we leverage that? So number one, you want to leverage, once you do the food photography, you want to leverage that in all your marketing materials, work with it on your packaging, and then also on your website and any online marketing areas that you're working with, social media, YouTube, videos, anything that you're putting out there. What we're doing when we do good food photography, we're demonstrating our commitment to the product and category to buyers and other partners in our business. So when they see the quality, when a buyer and or a co-packer or any other partner, we're talking to food brokers, we're talking to distributors, when they see our images in our marketing materials that we present, whether they consciously review it or understand it, or just they pick up on it, it provides them a level of understanding of your commitment to the product and the food category as you go forward. That's just a real quick discussion of why food photography is so important, so valuable. Let's get into the specifics of actually doing food photography. So some of the things you want to think about, it's really important that you have a plan. And so we just don't wake up one day and say, oh, we're going to shoot food photography, it's going to be fun. My recommendation for an effective shoot and effective images for your product is to think about it before you actually have the event, whether it's in a studio, restaurant, or location. Think about it ahead of time. So we want to think about the photographer, the location, ingredients, and kind of an outline of what your needs are. And we want to get into what we're shooting. Some of the basic areas of food photos, and you can look at examples all around you. But go to the biggest players in your category and look at their food shots and begin to think about what it is that makes good food photography for your product. But the things you want to think about as far as planning the shoot are ingredient shots. Two are going to be hero shots of an overall meal or context of your product in comparison of the whole item, and then a hero shot of the individual, what an individual serving or product would be on a plate for someone. So those are the three basic, simple shots. I like to do shots of an item. We want to do a hero shot, and then it doesn't have to be in full detail. The background can be the ingredients that are in the product. And that is often the basis of food photography. When you're working with a food photographer and you're sourcing a food photographer for your shoot, think about, number one, you want to look at his portfolio. Does he or she have a beautiful food portfolio? If they don't have, if you're not able to hire someone with food photography experience, and you end up bringing you want to search for someone that really pays a lot of attention to detail. They're very focused on the product. And so, for instance, food photography is very often can be a slow, tedious, detailed type of photography. So you're looking for someone that's going to shoot in a very detailed, slow format. So right off the bat, a sports photographer may not be appropriate for a food photo shoot. So you're going to look for someone that is shooting items, shooting product photography, shooting anything that is going to force them to be slow, focus on the item, and get set into position. But you're going to see this oftentimes in the actual shots that you're working with. The next part is going to be the location where you're going to shoot. That needs to be sourced. You don't want to shoot in a live restaurant where you have customers and other people working in the area. You'll do everything you can to have a quiet, controlled environment. You want to control the lighting as well. And the most important thing is the lighting. And so whether you're going to have some natural light, you've got to be able to control the light. So there's nothing more important to food photography than the lighting. The equipment, camera equipment, everything else is secondary. The lenses are going to be very important, but again, you should see that in the portfolio and then allow the food photographer to work on that. Again, go back and think about, we need to have a plan. So outline your needs, how many in any order you want to shoot, and be thinking about food styling as far as which item do we bring out first and what's going to be the easiest way to organize the food photography. One of the things that we want to also consider is a food photographer is not necessarily a food stylist. We're going to be much more successful if we are able to separate the two. Bring in a food stylist, also bring in a food photographer. Food stylist can be someone that works in your food company, someone that works in the restaurant, that is going to help organize the settings and the food. And together, they can work together with photographer. But the photographer has enough to do with his camera and the lighting and the different angles he's going to have to shoot to also be in control of the food styling. So I always recommend you have people there. There's two separate functions: food stylist, food photographer. If you're working with a big food photography firm, they're going to automatically have those team members. But when you're trying to do this on a very, very tight budget, you're going to likely be providing that service or bringing a food stylist in separately. Just like if you're working on any other shoot, you're going to bring in a stylist in addition to that. Also, you're going to want to have a system. We talked about outlining the items. You want to have a flow and a process. We're going to shoot A, B, and C. Then we're going to go on to D, E, and F, or we're just going to shoot 3 items, and we need to get through all the different shots for those items. And you want to be prepared to adjust. I know we plan ahead of time, but on the shoot day, it's so important that everyone involved on the team understands that you're going to be adjusting. In one of the shoots today, this week that we did, we had to actually moved rooms. We thought one area was going to be perfect. We had to end up moving everything to a different area because of the lighting needs. And so you want to be prepared for that. Know that you want to have a plan, but know that you're going to end up have to be flexible and be creative with a plan. That's one of the issues when you're interviewing photographers. You want to talk to them and listen and see how they think about planning, how they respond to you and what you're sharing that your needs are, so you can be adjustable and go. After the shoot is over and it's exciting to get that done and kind of in the books, we want to think about, see the images. What are the winners? And so we're going to pick the winning images. And the winning images are going to be the ones that provide the most emotion, the most wow, the most interest, that gets you excited. And those are the ones that you want to focus on and deploy and use in all your marketing materials. You want them on your website. You want them in your product spec sheets, on your menus. If you do any online videos, you want to possibly have those as part of the video to have in there. and kind of jump in there. I hope this has been helpful. Just a quick discussion of food photography. Jump on if you're seeing this anywhere other than timforrest.com or my YouTube channel, youtube.com/timforrestconsulting. Be sure to jump over there, like and subscribe. And I produce videos like this every Thursday, once a week, to share with you insights on growing your food business. If you have an innovative food product, I would love to talk to you. So jump on my calendar at timforrestmarkets.com and have a great day.